Okay, Assalamualaikum and good evening. So in this video, we're going to demonstrate how to import delimited file to SQL Server and export delimited file to Excel for analysis. So an overview of our database. So I got it from sqlservertutorial.net. So we're going to use what we call a by customer table. So it consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tables. So I'm only going to demonstrate how to do the what you call 4 tables, and then the rest you're going to do it for your exercise. Okay. So this is what we call the data dictionary or data definition, table definition of each table. Okay. So you notice here we have the identity, data type, size. Identity means auto increment. And then here we have text, the size is 255. Okay, so I'm gonna put also here the website of the data set. But I'm also gonna include the data set in our, I've already downloaded the data set. It's in CSV form. So we're going to import this to our database. So our first step is to import first. This one. Overview of the dataset already. So now let's create a database in which we're going to store all those CSV into separate tables. So here, right now, these are the list of my tables. So I'm going to create new query. So to create a database, just simply create database, and then we follow it with a name. Sorry, this one is supposed to be a comment. So let's just call this bike store db, like that. Okay, so make sure you terminate it with semicolon, then execute. All right, so here we refresh our SQL server. Hold on, let me connect again. Okay, now let me pause the video first. Okay, so if you notice on the left side, I already have the bike store DB here. Okay, so it consists of empty tables. So we don't have any tables here yet. So now we're gonna import each table. So take note that the CSV file, there's no relationship established. So you can just import it and just settle for the relationship nante. Creating relationship. Okay. So let's start from brands, categories, customers until store. So I'm only gonna do Sampay 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have to do the rest. Orders, products, staffs, stocks, and stores. I'm gonna include this one, and I'm gonna create a link for this one, and you can, in topic 1, and you can download this for your practice. Alright, so I'll start now. So I'll right click on Bike Store DB. So first task is to next step is to import each table from CSV to SQL Server. So right click here, tasks, import data. Okay, and then from here, we have welcome to SQL Server import and export data. So let's just click do not show this starting page again and click next. So here we have to select the source of our data. So you have several options here. Okay, is your source from Excel? But since we're using a CSV file, according to our definition of the file type, it's a flat file source. It's delimited. So we'll choose that one, then we click next. Now let's look for this data source. So here I'm going to click browse. So you might not see your data your data set in the folder, so make sure you click all files or CSV files. Alright, so it will appear. So I will click on brands. Okay, so this one just leave it as it is. The format is delimited, Luros, header row delimited, column names in the first data row. Then we click next, and then you see the content is displayed here. Then you click next again. And then here, choose a destination. So we're gonna save it in an SQL server. So you have to scroll here and look for SQL Server native client. So your version might be different than mine. Okay. So this one also might be different because this is my instance name. So when you install your SQL Server in your computer, you will have a different instance name. Okay, here under database, choose the database where you want to store it. So we're gonna store it in bike store. Okay, or you can create a new database here if you want. Then click next. And then you can check edit mappings to check the data type. So here you can change because it's a brand ID, let's examine first the data. So it's number. So for brand ID, we're gonna set it to data type of numeric. Or let's look for integer. If there's integer. Brand name, you can change the size here. Let's say 128, just in case you want to add the brand name which is long. Or I think 50 is okay. And then if you notice here, you can check the SQL code niya, how to create a table. Right? So there's no option here to choose the primary key. Okay. So you can set that later on. So click on OK, preview, and then next. Okay, bar next, run immediately, finish. So if you didn't see any error, it says 9 rows transferred. So you can see it here when we refresh. Okay. So it's already been imported in our database. Okay. So I'm gonna try one more and then the rest will be, you guys have to do it on your own for practice. So I'm gonna try again. This time I already imported. So next is categories. So I will just right click again. Tasks, import data. Again, flat file. Next. Then we browse the location. Sorry. Categories. Next. Okay, category ID. If you notice, it's number again. So we're going to change the data type later on. Here, look for the source, SQL native client, the destination database. Next, edit mappings. We're going to change again category ID to integer. Category name, if you're not happy, you can change the size. Okay. So actually we can use this enable identity insert for primary key, but it's okay. Next, and next, and next, and finish. Okay, so for your task, you need to perform all the same instruction and add the remaining tables here. So we have customers, order items, orders, products, staff, stocks, and store. Okay, so in the next video, we will continue with how to export, but please perform all the imports for the remaining tables.